Hello and welcome to Yoga with Michelle. So I realized that I have been posting some more advanced tutorials and yoga classes, and some of you might be at a very beginner stage and maybe getting a little discouraged. So I thought I would post some of the basic postures, beginner-friendly style, that you'll see in a sun salutation A, which is a typical sequence of flows that you'll see in a yoga class. Now I already have done a chaturanga tutorial, and that is on my tutorial playlist. So for today, we're going to break down a very easy pose, and it is called mountain pose. Earlier this week, I had a conversation with an old friend of mine who said, I can't do yoga. I wish I could do things. If you are standing with intention and mindfulness, you are doing yoga. So I'm going to break it down for you right now. So let's go ahead and get started. So mountain pose, typically you see people standing, and it just seems like they're standing. There's actually a lot of things going on with mountain pose. So for one thing, you're not slouched, you're having really good posture, and you want to start with your foundation, which is the feet. So I'm going to turn this way. To start, we're going to do our feet hips width distance apart. Now, you might hear some instructors say, root down through all four corners of your foot, but some people might not really know what that means. So I'm going to pick up my foot, so there's two corners here on the ball of the foot and two corners down here on the heel. So when your feet are hips width distance apart, you want to just start swaying side to side so that you feel what left and right feel like, and then you kind of know where center is. So let's come back to the center. Now we're going to do that same motion slightly forward and back. So I'll turn sideways. So your feet aren't moving, you're just kind of shifting your weight. So you feel your weight more in the ball of the foot, the heel of the foot, and then you sink down to where you find center. Now, again, the feet are firmly planted. Just take your weight in a circle. So now we're noticing for sure all four corners. We're isolating two of the corners. So now I'm feeling left, right, front, and back. Now let's shift to the other side. And then you should be also able to be aware of where center is. And then come back to center. So now our base is set and firm. Let's work on the legs. So the legs, you want some tone in the quadriceps. So in order to do that, you lift the kneecaps up and you don't lock the knees. You have a slight bend in the knees. So everything is really soft and you're building bone on top of bone, stacking them really, and then everything's engaged. Now with your pelvis, so we've got the legs, we have the feet, your pelvis. You don't want it to be like this where you're poking your butt out. That puts a lot of strain on your low back. You don't want to be like this where your pelvis is forward. You want a nice neutral pelvis. So just like we did with the feet, let's work with the hips. So take the hips just side to side. So notice where your side to side is, and then where center is. Come back to center. Then we're going to kind of go forward and back, almost like a cat-cow. So forward and back. So where you notice where you're overly flexing, overly extending, and then where center is. And then come back to center. So you should be nice and neutral. There is a slight tone in your stomach, so your belly button is just gently pressing toward your back. So we have the feet, we have the legs, we have the pelvis, and now for the upper body. So again, you don't want to jar the shoulders together where you're popping out the ribs, nor do you want to be slouching forward. So the idea, and I actually saw this on Oprah, it was a really cool trick for how to stand up straight. Standing up straight, you just take your hands and you roll them open, so it helps to open up the shoulders, and then you stand up. And really what that does is it creates this nice little pocket for where the shoulder blades are. So if you look at my back, I have my natural lumbar curve, I have my natural thoracic curve, and then I have my natural curve in my cervical spine. The hands are open and they're active. So my fingers are spread wide, palms up. And again, you don't want to pop that rib open. You knit the ribs together. So actually place your hands around your ribs and kind of press them a little bit together. Yeah. So we've got the feet, we've got the legs, we've got the hips, we have the torso, so shoulders down the back, ribs knitting together. Now let's work on the neck. So some people might have their head back here, some people might be here. So we're just going to work on the neck. So you want, again, stacking the bones, everything in line. So place one hand to the top of your head and think about pressing into the top of your head. So almost as if there was a ceiling or a roof there. And everything is really active. Awesome. So now let's put it all together. So we have our feet, the four corners, we have our legs, quadriceps engaged, soft bend through the knees. We have the pelvis nice and neutral. So again, you're thinking of it like a bowl. You don't want to spill anything one way or the other. The bowl is nice and flat. The belly is slightly pulled in, slight engagement through the core. Shoulders relaxed down the back, ribs knitting together. Arms beside the body, palms face out, hands engaged. Reaching the crown of the head all the way up. You're not lifting up, you're not looking down, you're not pushing forward, you're not pushing back. So this is what it looks like from the front view. And then this is what it looks like from the side view. So we have all the natural curves of your spine, everything is engaged, and so that is your basic standing mountain pose Tadasana. I would love to hear how you did, if you enjoyed it, if you didn't realize that all of those things were involved in a mountain pose. Thank you so much, and until next time.